Welcome to Dr. MaryOz's Radical Change Now radio program. Today you will learn how to combine healing and the law of attraction to better your own life in mere weeks. Join us on our journey, which starts right now. Here's your host, Dr. MaryOz.
So, welcome to our Radical Change Now show, where we care about your healing, transformation, and the change that you want and need. We love when your life, relationships, and your best self is agreeing with you. Here on the Radical Change Now show at Voice America Empowerment Channel, we're committed to bringing you helpful insights and powerful experts that can help you figure out what is your next best move for yourself, your family, your business. Perhaps it's just for the day or just for the moment. Today we have some very special guests on the show, some very special guys with us. So let's welcome Art Giser and Jeff Tambor. Welcome, guys.
Well, hi, Mary. Hey, Mary. It's great to be on the show.
Hi, Art. Thank you for saying yes.
Yeah, and great to be on with you, Dr. Mary. It's thoroughly exciting.
Thank you. I'm ready for a good show. We had a little bit of technical issues today, so we're starting a little late, but must be something to do with the energy work.
It does happen.
Yes, it does. So I just want to thank you guys for saying yes to the show and bringing our audience such a powerful message. And I really do believe, I tell people when I talk about you guys, that you are two of the most gentlest and loving men that I really have ever met. And I've been, a lot of different places, a lot of different seminars, a lot of different groups of people. And the energy work that you guys do on a daily basis really comes out in how you guys carry yourself, how you show up, and how you love other people. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I noticed that.
Thank you.
Well, I'm really touched, and I'm going to play the recording for my mother. So, no, thank you very much. That really, this is very special for you to say that.
Well, I'm super excited to have you guys today. And I remember when I first met Jeff, we were at a mastermind, and I actually met Jeff before I met Art. And it was a morning, and it was like a 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. meeting we had in a seminar type mastermind. And he just kind of pops up right in front of me, and he introduces himself, and he puts his hands on his chins, and he starts rubbing, and he starts saying hello and analyzing my energy. And I'm like, oh, well, hello to you too. And I immediately felt safe, but he was telling me about my energy, and I was like, this is a really interesting conversation because I just met you. And then when he walked away, I thought to myself, what is he saying about me that I don't know, right? Because he just was being very friendly and kind. But I thought it was an interesting interaction, Jeff.
Yeah, I remember that morning. It was after we didn't. Yeah, it was. I think there were a few particular amazing things you did that were just really popping up in your field, and I was so appreciative to be able to reflect and share.
Yeah, so that was my first encounter with Jeff. And then Art, I remember I got to meet you in a group setting. Mm-hmm. We were in San Diego, and it was the end of a Lisa Sasevich event. And you guys were doing some kind of free energy work outside in San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful weather. It was breezy out. And, I just remember being struck by, first of all, I think you had 30 or 40 people that had gathered. And just to watch you go into the space that you go into, and it was powerful. You had a very strong presence, and, it was just a very calming, enlightening experience that I had before I set off to go home. So, and I remember the energy stayed with me, another day or two, I could feel it later. So I feel from you that you have this very healing and calming presence about yourself.
Well, thank you very much. And that was really a lovely experience, and I was so pleased that you could be part of it because I wanted to get to know you better. So I was really happy that you were there. Since we're talking about energy, though, let me just say to the people listening, if you're driving, turn this off, because Jeff and I, and I'm sure Mary will be too, are all going to be running energy. And it's delightful, it's wonderful, it's designed to make you go inward, not the way you want to be when you're driving. So, these are all available. Mary makes all the recordings available. So,
yes.
Well, we'd love to have you on the call. If you're driving, turn this off.
Yes, for safety reasons, right? Art wants everyone to be safe. Yeah, good point. But Art, I remember this other time too. It was another mastermind, and at this point I had gotten to know you personally, and we were at a dinner, a whole bunch of people at a dinner, and my daughter Sam was with us, and we were having a conversation standing up at the restaurant and leaning against the wall. I don't know if you remember this specific conversation, but you started to talk about like your events, like when you train people to do energy work. And Sammy and I were just listening, and you were going into some like nice big details about what you do. And Sammy and I both looked at each other, and I know that look in Sammy's eye. It was like, we got to get there. Like whatever he's teaching, like we got to get there, and we want to be there. So Sammy and I still talk about that moment. So I'm really super excited that you guys are here today. I know you're going to be talking to us about energy work and NLP. And I do want you guys to explain NLP to our audience, because I'm not sure that everyone knows what that is. But maybe you could just share a little bit, Art, about yourself first. Like, who are you? I have this vision of you. The story of Superman, and he comes to Earth, right? He comes to Earth in a capsule, and he comes out of the capsule, and he's superhero, right? He's got super energy. I think there was a capsule behind Superman, and they just forgot to do the video about you, right? I have these visions of you have this extra energy, and nobody knows about it yet. So tell us about who you are and how your journey brought you here to today.
Well, first of all, thank you. That's a beautiful image, and I'm sure some of the people listening have a similar feeling, like, I think I'm a little different than most of the people here. A lot of people that are, I'm sure, attracted to your work and to our work are people that have a sense of, like, I have some other knowledge or information from somewhere, but I can't necessarily get my finger on it. But my story was, a short version, I was really adventuresome when I was young. And like when I was 20, I quit school for a while. I bought a one-way ticket to London. I had back in those days you could hitchhike and stuff, and it was cool in those days, I have to say, for younger people, they go, you hitchhiked. And a one-way ticket. I didn't even know how I was going to get home. I wanted to have an adventure. I had no idea what was going to happen, how I'd get home. And that was kind of the person I was. And then I graduated. I had a degree in biology, and by the end of it, I realized that wasn't, I love science, that wasn't it. I'd always been attracted to ESP and hypnosis and psychic development, but I hadn't really done anything with it. But I thought, I have this degree, I'll get a job for a while. So I got a job at one of the world's great research institutions, the University of California, San Francisco Medical School, and then I got stuck. I got stuck for years. And I knew I didn't belong there. It was a good job, and the work we were doing was studying effects of estrogen and progesterone on a woman, and it was important work, and I was working with great people. I knew I didn't belong there, and but I didn't know what to do, and it didn't make sense just to quit without any kind of direction. At least that's what I thought at the time. But I had this deep feeling that something was just going to appear. But then as the years passed, I thought, maybe I'm just lying to myself. But then I saw a poster on the wall, and it said neuro-linguistic programming, and I literally felt like a bolt of lightning go down my midline. And the kind of scientist in me went, what the hell was that? And the mystic in me went, well, it was a sign. What do you think it was? So this kind of internal discussion. And that was really the start of all of it for me. And luckily for me, when I started studying NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, I was in Northern California near San Francisco, and a lot of people in there were into healing and energy work. And through them, I was introduced to some really amazing teachers. And what happened is I realized when you took the strength of NLP, which is a very, and by the way, the listeners might not know, Dr. Mary is very well, I don't know if you're officially a trainer, but Dr. Mary knows a great deal about NLP. But NLP is wonderful, and it's very logical and methodical. But I realized when you combine it with spiritual principles, with transformative and healing energy work, it was like 1 + 1 = 10. And that was the birth of energetic NLP.
Right. So it was like light bulb moment for you, right?
Huge. The first being when I saw that poster, and the second being when my first time I went to a psychic workshop. And by the end of it, I knew, okay, I have to learn this. And what was funny for me with the NLP, I was one of those people. I was very frugal and practical, and I would do what was easiest and most convenient and cheapest. And I knew that NLP was going to be important for me, and I went, I'm going to do the opposite. I don't care if it's convenient. Who's the very best, I don't care what it costs, program I could do. It was with a man called Michael LeBeau, and it totally changed my life. And a great teacher can do that.
Art, could you give us a quick definition of neuro-linguistic programming?
I'm sorry?
What would your definition of neuro-linguistic programming be?
So, kind of the original definition, it was the study of the nature of subjective experience, And the people who started NLP, at the time in psychology, they talked about therapy having to take years. Like 5 years was kind of a minimum time in therapy. And they were aware of 5 or 6 therapists who got magical rapid changes with people. So they went, what is it that they're doing that's different? So they began to videotape them, which in those days meant lugging around huge equipment and studying them. And one of them was a linguist, and they applied techniques from transformational linguistics. I'll make a long story short, but they discovered that there were all these things these people were doing that they didn't teach because it was like an unconscious competence, and they had a way of looking at their clients differently than traditional psychologists. And that became the birth of NLP. And what they discovered after that is it wasn't just for therapy. You could use it to acquire skills. So if somebody's really good at something, an NLP person studies how they use their mind consciously and unconsciously to create that skill, and then you teach other people how to do it. And it's an amazing field. I mean, you can often change a limiting belief in minutes and things that when you first hear about it, I mean, you know all this. You think, oh, they've got to be kidding, but it works.
You know, my history with neuro-linguistic programming is more through Tony Robbins. So I'm a big fan of Tony Robbins. I learned a lot of his strategies and skills. And his strategies and skills are based on NLP. But I never actually studied NLP, but he has a really creative, powerful way of taking the best of NLP and turning them into knowledge and strategies. So someday you and I are going to have a meal together and go over what are those differences. I think that would be an interesting conversation.
Oh, I think that would be great. And Tony's a master at teaching the processes.
Yeah. So let's check in with Jeff. Jeff, what brings you to NLP and energy work?
Yeah, well, for me, I had been studying and exploring a lot of different kinds of healing modalities and energy work and transformational work and personal growth for years. I'd sort of become obsessed with it after a pretty intense traumatic experience when I was younger with depression sort of really set me on my spiritual path pretty intensely. Yeah. And from there, I studied all sorts of things, different energy work, body work, shamanic work, spiritual clearing, all manner of things. And I was professionally doing that as a practitioner already. And then one day I went to one of Art's lectures, and it's one of his little mini workshops. And even though I had all these skills in my tool set and my toolbox, it just blew me away. I still was in this place where as many tools as I had, as much as I could help people transform, it was already a lot. Right. I still knew there was more. I still knew I wasn't quite where I could be in terms of really living my potential and fully giving my gifts to those I was here to serve. And I just knew there was more. And when I got connected with Art, there was just this profound sense of, wow, there is something here that I have not seen anywhere else. And I had seen a lot of things by that point. And so I went on to study with him, and I ended up studying and training through all of his courses. But what was really amusing is for the very first training, the first workshop I was getting ready to do with him, even though I was really drawn, I had all this resistance coming up. Every time I would check in with muscle testing or dowsing or any form of checking in, I kept getting a no, but it was such a strong yes. And
Right.
thankfully, one of my friends was like, you just need to go. And I did. Thank God I didn't let the resistance hold me back.
Right.
You know, and so often we think that, like, we get resistance, we go, oh, it's not aligned, as opposed to sometimes where we have the most resistance, but we feel really drawn. Sometimes that's our biggest yeses. And so I went, and ENLP just totally transformed my life. It took all the work I was doing to a next level, all my intuitive abilities through the roof. I mean, to the point where after that, after studying and training with it, I had people who were professionally intuitives who were coming to me for readings and other transformational work because of how powerful energetic NLP was in taking things to that next level. And now I'm, in a number of ways, getting to really give my gifts and living my mission and my purpose in ways that are just amazing. I couldn't even have imagined.
Wow, that's awesome. And, I hear a similar theme for you. So Art was talking about how he knew when he heard NLP, it resonated with him. He said that lightning through him. Mm-hmm. And you knew, Jeff, that when you met Art and you took his course, like the resonating was there. And, to me, it's always interesting in life, whether it's content, training tools, energy work, material. Sometimes in life, what we need just shows up. And you're right. We have to, sometimes we jump in, there is no resistance. And sometimes when there's big resistance, it really is something that's powerful for us. And we need to push through that resistance.
Yeah, sometimes that's your biggest yes. It's like when you've got the draw, but you have the fear, the resistance, and the doubt coming up at the same time. That's almost like doubling down, going, yeah, you really need to do this then.
Yes. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to have Art and Jeff here, and we're going to be talking about what is an older soul, and when you are an older soul, what's that journey like? Because it could be challenging and it could be wonderful. And Art and Jeff are going to come back and share some more information with us on NLP and energy work. So quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. Be sure to stay with us. We'll be right back.
Live up to your fullest potential. This is the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Dr. MaryOz's Radical Change Coaching Program will help you set a healing foundation in your life and teach you how to manifest more of what you want. Are you ready to get the results and radical change you have been longing for too long? Very often our clients tell us that this is the most powerful coaching they have ever received. Come join us and start living life with more results, more love, more wealth, health, and peace, as well as inspiration. For more information, call Coach Sam at 1-833-447-CHANGE. Need help deciding if our Radical Change coaching program is right for you? Apply for a free strategy session with one of our coaches. Be prepared to dive deep and identify the areas in life in which you need healing and transformation. Together, we will clarify how to close the gap from where you are to where you want to be and discover what's possible now. How would it feel to get big changes in less than 30 days for you, your loved ones, and your business? Apply now by calling Coach Sam at 1-833-447-CHANGE or visit us at radicalchangenow.com.
Friend us on Facebook to keep up with what's empowering the world. Voice America Empowerment.
You are listening to Radical Change Now with Dr. MaryOz. If you'd like to participate in our discussion today, the phone lines are open. Reach us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Let's get back to Radical Change Now. Here again is Dr. MaryOz.
So we're back with Art and Jeff, and the title of our show today is Advanced Practices for Old Souls. Accelerate your transformation with whole being permission. And Art and Jeff I'm going to ask you a question, maybe you guys could both speak to. And what is an older soul? And tell us about the journey that the older soul takes and what you guys know about that.
Well, it's a fascinating topic, Mary, and I want everybody listening to know, take this more metaphorically than as some kind of a strict thing. Yep. life on the spiritual level is beautiful and dazzling and complex, and then we come up with simple ways to describe it. And the old soul model is a really useful model, and again, take it more as a metaphor. And I want to be clear. So the idea is that people come in at different soul ages, young soul, baby souls, young souls, mature souls, old souls. And the idea is that one is not superior to the other. They're all equal spiritually, but people who are coming in as a young soul are coming in to have a different life experience than people who are coming in as an older soul. So people coming in as a young soul, very often, everything's very direct and linear in their life, and they tend to be the people that go, I visualized it, and boom, it happened, and not that everything works for them, but life tends to be very simple. The older a soul you are, the more you came in to do this lifetime, so that any particular action in your life can be tied into 20, 30 things, where for a younger soul it might be tied into one thing, so that and why that's important is for older souls, often they're looking at younger souls and going, how come it's so easy for that person? They're not any smarter than I am, they're not any more this than I am, and yet everything just seems to be simple for me. And for me, I'm thinking, I'm analyzing, and I have different decisions to make, and everything seems like a big deal. Well, it's because to older souls, there's a truth to that. Things are more complex. And you want to add to that, Jeff?
Yeah. So, for one of the things, they are more complex because they're exploring more complex themes. We're exploring, more complex themes. There's patterns. There's on one hand, there's challenge to that, but there's also incredible richness to it. And again, it's not better or worse. It's just different. And one of the things with people who tend to who are more of that older soul, we've been at our inner work. We've been working on ourselves. We've often studied a lot of different things and explored a lot of different ways of personal growth and often spirituality and different pieces like that. And there's this deep sense of inquiry and knowing that there's more that kind of goes with that. And like Art was said, usually we've tried manifestation work at different things, and it's just not as simple and clear. But we usually are harvesting all these incredible learnings from it as we go. But one of the things with older souls is, if you were farther along in your education, if you were a graduate student, you would need a teacher who was a graduate school teacher. In the same way that
makes sense.
Yeah, and as the same way as if you were in elementary school, you need an elementary school teacher. It doesn't make the graduate school teacher any more important than the elementary school teacher. In fact, the elementary school teacher may be more important to your development than the graduate school teacher ultimately. It's just where are we in our development and actually having guidance and support and practices that fit the level of complexity that we're exploring. And that's where, Art and I love helping older souls really explore and skillfully navigate through that complexity and move through it with more ease and more fun and understanding.
And often old souls really feel like a mission to give and make a difference in the world. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yet sometimes that could be a blessing and a challenge.
If they feel they're not. And I mean, a lot of old souls, they may have a perfectly good job or career, but there can be this feeling like I'm not offering my gifts to the world. I'm not really offering what I'm capable of in a way that really fits my sense of mission and purpose, even if they don't have a way to put it in words. So, and when I talked about being stuck in the lab, again, I was proud of what I was doing, but I knew I didn't belong there, and it wasn't where I could really offer the best of me to the world.
Wow. So let me ask you guys a question, because I know we started the show a little late today, and I apologize to you guys. Your time is very valuable to you and to me as well. So I want to let you know we have to end today by 1:58. So we have exactly 11 minutes left. I know we had other questions we wanted to go over, and I know you wanted to give us an energy experience today, but we also have you guys coming back next week as well. So I just wanted to ask you, what's the best time to use our time? I know you guys wanted to offer us some energy work, but I don't know if we can do that in 11 minutes. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. We have 18 minutes left. We have 18 minutes left. So is 18 minutes, I don't want to like kind of cheapen the experience. So do you want to take the 18 minutes to set this up for energy work next week? Or do you want to give us some kind of quick energy process?
I'd be curious for your opinion, Jeff, but I'd say let's go for doing a quick energy process, and we'll do another one next week.
Yeah,
okay. But let's do that then.
I would agree. And maybe just a really brief explanation around whole being permission and why it's so important to old souls. Yeah.
Awesome. So take it away.
Yeah, everything we do in energetic NLP is permission-based. And the way that we think about permission, I've had so many people who've been involved in spirituality for decades tell me that they've never thought about it the way that we think about it. And the way I first discovered it, I was working with a woman years ago who, a beautiful person, compassionate, intelligent, physically attractive, and she was having problems having the kind of love in her life that she wanted, the kind of primary relationship. And I started working on her, and one of the things that we do in energetic NLP is we connect with the person's spirit and their soul, and your spirit and soul are different. Maybe we'll explain that next week. But and I realized that while consciously and unconsciously she wanted this kind of wonderful love relationship, her soul kept telling me, no, I don't want it. And it was because of past lives where she had been in relationships that really suppressed her. And her soul kept going, no, I don't want that. I want to be free, to develop. And of course you can have both, but her soul was at that moment very adamant about it. And it started me, this is back in the late 1980s, and it started me thinking about this whole idea of permission and how often when people visualize what they want or do other things to manifest what they want, it didn't work for them. And what we realized is there's at least there's really 7 major facets to permission. And I'll just go through them quickly. There's the agenda, the wants and needs of your soul, the wants and needs of your spirit, the wants and needs of your conscious mind, the wants and needs of your unconscious mind. And because your unconscious mind is complex, there's like various wants and needs of your unconscious mind. People talk about inner child work. It's more like inner children. And part of your unconscious mind can want one thing, and another part of your unconscious mind wants another thing, and your conscious mind wants something else, and your soul wants something else. And so it's like you're in a restaurant and you keep telling the waiter or the waitress, well, I want the vegan menu. No, I'll have the steak. No, I'll have the chicken. No, I'll have the shrimp. And the waiter's just standing there going, well, I'll be happy to give it to you, but you have to settle on something. And that's the way a lot of people manifest. So they don't really have permission to manifest their true heart's desires and their authentic conscious goals. So in energetic NLP, we do a lot of work on aligning a person's spirit and your soul and your conscious mind, your unconscious mind, and your body so that they're aligned in what a person is manifesting. 2 other major important factors are the person's karma and what are called spiritual contracts. And all of these are very important things. And maybe next week we might be able to work on spiritual contracts. But today...
Well, that was helpful. With the way you explained that, Art, that made a lot of sense to me. So I know I've heard you say whole being permission before, and I feel like that makes a lot of sense to me. And I'm like, wow, there's some things in there like to understand, like you said, the difference between spirit and soul. And I guess it has to do with giving permission to all of these different levels to yourself, correct?
That's exactly it. And, over the years, so many people have gone, oh, my God, that explains my life. And when they start noticing, and we teach people how to discover where they do and don't have permission and then what to do about it, of course, so that they can have this whole being permission where all the facets of yourself, your karma, and your spiritual contracts are all aligned to creating a really miraculous, satisfying, happy, abundant, and successful life.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
And I'm just going to explain one other facet. Oh, is that okay?
Please.
So there's one other facet of whole being permission. In addition to all the parts being on the same page and agreed, moving in the same direction, it's also the combination of a whole web and network of our beliefs, our programming, our karma, our contracts, unresolved traumas that create a whole pattern around your system. So if you imagine that you are a car that's trying to move towards the direction you're trying to manifest, and it's almost like the car can have a parking boot on it and the emergency brake's on and a cable tied to a wall and a parking block in front of it.
Not what you want, right?
That's right.
Not what you want at all.
So, right. So in addition to all parts being in face the same direction, there can be all these unconscious and energetic restrictions that limit your whole being permission. So what we do in ENLP is we help all the parts get on the same page, moving the same direction, and we take the emergency brake off, we remove the boot, we remove the parking block, we take off the chain, and we say, go for it, get there.
So you get momentum. Like you get out of the gate and you get momentum. Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right.
Well, I love that Jeff uses that metaphor, because when I was really stuck in my life, I would tell people, sometimes I feel like I'm a Ferrari and somebody has one foot on the accelerator and one foot on the brake. It's
so
like, I don't know what's going on.
What color Ferrari were you, Art?
Pardon?
Does your Ferrari have a certain color? Are you like fire engine red?
No, I'm not really a Ferrari guy. I'd be perfectly happy with a Porsche.
I'm just trying to figure out what color to give the capsule that you can use.
Yes. I have to think about that. It's kind of a bronzy color I like, but very, very sophisticated, of course.
I want to keep you guys.
Yes,
we're a little off schedule today, so I just want to let you know we have 10 minutes. So can we do energy work in 10 minutes?
Yes. So a couple of principles we use in energetic NLP is it's different than some energy systems. And in energetic NLP, we believe that we're at our most powerful when we're playful. And if you access your inner playfulness and your imagination and just pretend, it really opens up your abilities to either receive energy or work with energy. So as Jeff and I are going to take people through an energy technique that they'll be able to, it's real simple, they'll be able to do it on their own afterwards. It's something we recommend doing every day. It's a very simple, powerful process. And Jeff and I will also be energetically helping everybody when they do it this time to make it, to kind of turbocharge it. And so the way for it to work for people is to be playful, use your imagination, and just allow things to happen and give permission for your own inner wisdom and your own spirit to be in charge. So in energetic NLP, we talk about a person's miraculous self. Your miraculous self is something you develop, and it's when you align your inner wisdom and your spirit having that vast perspective on everything, and your inner wisdom having the human perspective on everything. And when they're aligned, then things are really, really powerful. So again, be playful, and also ask people to let go of expectations. Some of the most powerful energy work I've ever experienced, I didn't even feel at the time it was happening. I noticed the effects later, and other times I feel it. So I'm just going to ask everybody, just let yourself have whatever experience you're having. Don't judge it, and then later you'll get a sense of what just happened for you. And this process we call energy magnets, because we use the metaphor of a magnet, and almost everybody played with magnets when they were a child. And so your unconscious mind knows a magnet is this thing that has all this energy, and it can pull things to it. So as a child, you probably took a pin and held it near a magnet. When you let go of the magnet, of the pin, boom, it went to the magnet. So we use things that the unconscious mind can relate to, and a magnet's a good one. And in this process, I should say at the beginning, as you go through the day, you absorb energies from other people, and you've been doing it since you were in your mother's womb. Most people would be appalled if they knew how much of the energy in their energy field wasn't theirs. And it isn't whether it's good or bad energy. It's not yours. It's not authentic. So we're always trying to clear other people's energy out and bring in your true energy, your true essence. And in just a couple of minutes, we'll be able to... we're going to take people through a process that will only take a few minutes. It's easy and powerful. A couple of other things. When the energy is being released, some of you may feel like a tug of war with some of the energy. if there's a tug of war, just leave that alone for now. Don't try to force it out. I'm sure a lot of you know this saying, what you resist persists. And when you fight energy, you end up making it worse. So whatever just comes off easily today, and in the free offer we're going to make to everybody at the end of this call, Jeff and I are going to do a session where we'll teach people more about how to work with their energy in this way. But for right now, I'd like everybody to just take a couple deep breaths, and from your conscious mind, give 100% permission for your inner wisdom and spirit, your miraculous self, to be in charge of this process. Not your conscious mind, not Jeff, not I, not Dr. Mary. Just let your own miraculous self be in charge. And then imagine floating out in front of you, and put it out at least about 20 feet, 6 meters. Imagine there's a magnet out there, and just pretend it's this very powerful energy magnet. And give it permission to pull out of the front of your body and energy field any energies that your miraculous self, wants you to release right now. So just imagine things going out to the magnet. No force, no effort, just permission. And your energy field goes all around you. It's above you, on your sides, in front, back, and below you. So the whole front of your energy field is being cleared now. And for those of you that are familiar with the chakras, you can imagine energies coming out of them too. And then drop that magnet into the center of the earth and give the earth permission to recycle the energy. So it'll either turn it into pure energy and do something else with it, or it'll give it back to the people who it belongs to. Then imagine a magnet high above your head, and your energy field goes up at least 9 feet, 3 meters above your head. Let your M use that magnet above your head to clear your energy field from your shoulders, through your neck and your head, all around your body, and going up through the chakras or energy centers above your head. That whole space above your head is being cleared. Drop that magnet into the center of the earth and let the earth recycle it. And then this is my favorite. Put a magnet way behind you, because a lot of energy kind of hides behind your back where you don't notice it. And let that magnet clear the back of your body, the back of your chakras, and the back of your energy field. So let your miraculous self use that magnet to just gently and powerfully pull energy out of your space. And then drop that magnet into the center of the earth. And then the last magnet is in the earth below you. Let it clear from the base of your spine, to your legs, your feet, going down at least 3 feet, a meter below your feet. And then again, all around your legs, your whole energy field. Let your miraculous self use the magnet to clear energies out of that. And there's a lot of energies get stuck in the chakras in your hip sockets and knees and ankles, your feet and toes, and especially the soles of your feet. And that magnet is clearing the different energy channels in the body. And it doesn't matter if you know what I'm talking about, because your miraculous self, your spirit and inner wisdom know about all this stuff. So just let them be in charge. Now, it's not just that other people leave their energy in your energy field. You leave your energy all over the place. You leave it in the past, present, and future. You leave it in other people's energy fields trying to help them or because you're mad at them. You leave it in buses and cars and trains and planes and where you work. So imagine above your head is a gold ball of energy, and give your miraculous self permission to use that gold ball to retrieve your energy from wherever you've scattered it. And if some of your energy is in somebody else's energy field trying to help them, ask your M to bring in earth and universal energies into their energy field that will help them more than your energy did. But retrieve your own energy back. And then your miraculous self will take the energy in the gold ball, clean it up, make sure it's really your energy, make it all sparkling, and it will send it down into your body and energy field. So throughout your body, in front and behind, below, above, left and right. So your entire energy field is being filled with your authentic energy. And if there's any space left over, beautiful gold energy can come down and fill that space. Okay, and that's the process. And just to recap it real briefly, use 4 magnets, one in front, above, below, behind. Let your M use the magnets to clear your energy, drop them into the center of the earth, a gold ball above your head, let it retrieve your energy and send it back down into your body and energy field. And if people were to do that twice a day, like in the morning when you get up and before you go to bed, it would have a massive cumulative effect, positive effect on their lives.
Wow, Art, that was amazing. Thank you. Thank you. And I just wanted to let our audience know what I was experiencing. As soon as you said put the magnet in front of you, I felt my entire chest area lean forward, like energy was pouring out of my heart. And then when you said release the last magnet, I noticed a big smile on my face. Right, so I feel like I was really I was able to lean into the exercise like you suggested. But here's what I'd like our listeners to do. Art and Jeff are coming back next week, but they have generously offered a gift. So sometime today, right after the show, go to www.drmaryozfreegifts.com, and Art and Jeff have prepared a gift for you where you can learn about 3 different energy processes that you can do on your own. And then be sure to come back next week, 1 o'clock on Wednesday, on the Radical Change Now here at the Empowerment Channel at Voice America. And we promise to have Art and Jeff back, and they're going to share a lot more exciting information with you. So thank you, Art, and thank you, Jeff.
Well, thanks, Dr. Mary, and you set such a beautiful energy around your show, so thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you. Mary. Thank you, guys. See you next week.
See ya. Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in this week for Radical Change Now. Be sure to join Dr. Mary Oz again next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time and 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Until then, have the best week of your life.